Welcome to Listening Screen, where I give you the movie review to listen to. Spoiler-free, of course. Many, if not most, of the post-Endgame MCU films have felt perfunctory. In contrast, director Jake Schreier delivers an authenticity to Thunderbolts, the likes of which the MCU hasn't seen in years. This franchise is 36 films deep, so it is asking a lot to be surprised at this point, but this felt fresh. It is not among the finest MCU films overall, but it is unquestionably one of the best post-Endgame films, and it not only provides an interesting and entertaining experience in and of itself, but it has reignited my interest in the franchise. Better late than never, I guess. Despite my disappointment in recent MCU projects, I was excited for this film due to its stellar marketing. That A24-style trailer was not only clever and fun, but it suitably depicts the tone of the film, funnily enough. The opening minutes of this film gave me that feeling that a great opening always should. The feeling where you are sitting there thinking to yourself, oh, this is going to be good. Yelena, played by Florence Pugh, narrates the sequence while sitting atop the world's second tallest building, Merdeka 118 in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. She expresses her current disillusionment with her line of work. While performing a base jump off the side of the building, Pugh actually performed this stunt, which is very impressive. This was an opulent yet intimate way to open the film, which immediately focuses your attention. Pugh is particularly believable in the hand-to-hand combat as the sequence progresses. The cinematography is immediately more lively and thoughtful than you've come to expect from recent MCU films. This whole sequence establishes the tone of the film. Mental health, the trauma that each of the main characters has gone through, and how they could begin to overcome it are major themes in the film. The emphasis on realistic hand-to-hand combat and practical effects gives the film a gritty tangibility that has been lacking in recent MCU films. Obviously, there is CGI, but the film's presentation felt grounded. I, like many others, have criticised previous MCU films for their muted or washed-out colours, but the dreary look works for this film due to the bleak themes. All of these characters are depressed and looking for purpose. The examination of mental health isn't subtle, but it is sincere and relatable. The MCU has been heavily lambasted in the past for its jarring humour, but this is one of the few films in the franchise that towed the line with the comedy. It has humour, yet it never undermines the material or takes you out of the experience. Florence Pugh is both a brilliant actress and a movie star. The camera cuts to a close-up of her face whenever possible, and her beauty and talent captivate you. She is the film's protagonist, and without compromising her own identity, she is undoubtedly being set up to succeed her sister Natasha as a new Black Widow figure. Although I enjoyed many aspects of the Black Widow film, I always felt that it was a strange way to kick off Phase 4 and the Multiverse Saga as a whole, because it did not appear to set up any of the major themes of the saga. Thankfully, Thunderbolts enhances Black Widow. As a quasi-sequel to that film, it now feels more relevant as the first film in the Multiverse Saga, as it introduces Yelena, whose character is more fully formed in Thunderbolts, the final film of Phase 5. Sebastian Stan consistently delivers as Bucky Barnes, one of my favourite MCU characters. He is a standout here, as is David Harbour, who returns as Red Guardian and adds levity to the film. Wyatt Russell does an excellent job as John Walker, adding humanity to a character who I found interesting but ultimately annoyed me in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That was a series I didn't particularly like, but Thunderbolts has made me like this character. Bob is a surprisingly refreshing character, and Lewis Pullman does a fantastic job portraying him. The writers could have taken Bob in a generic direction, but they don't, and I was pleased with not only his arc, but also his burgeoning bond with Yelena. I was happy to see Julia Louis-Dreyfus chewing up the screen as Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, but I was left questioning the direction they took her character in Act 3. Although Thunderbolts doesn't add much to the Multiverse Saga's lore, its smaller scale plot reminds me of some of my favourite films in the Infinity Saga, such as the first Iron Man and the Captain America trilogy. Thunderbolts develops a group of cool characters who will be relevant in the future and, more crucially, does not feel like a committee-produced corporate product. It feels like a singular vision from director Jake Schreier and writers Eric Pearson and Joanna Cole. As previously stated, this isn't one of the best MCU films, but it is trying hard to make the best of its characters and concept. There is a terrific sequence in Act 1 where all of the characters are first brought together in a deadly trap, and before being forced to work together, they all square off in a chamber, and the choreography of the fight was so satisfying that it filled me with joy. The film has some genuinely great action, and while it might occasionally meander in its second and third acts, its themes of mental health are so well defined, and its characters are so passionately realised that you can forgive its more formulaic elements. It's not like this is a profound exploration of depression, the likes of which you would find in an R-rated indie film, but it does feel like it's taking itself a bit more seriously and attempting something daring, which is exactly what I've been looking for from the MCU. On a pure entertainment level, I'd probably still prefer Spider-Man No Way Home or Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness over this. Those films more so contribute to the overall narrative. Hell, I'm even a defender of Eternals. But I have more respect for Thunderbolts and what they've accomplished with it. I haven't been as enthusiastic about a set of B-list characters since Guardians of the Galaxy. And don't miss the post-credit scene. Believe me, this one is actually functional. Speaking of the credits, was that AI in the credits? I must ask. I sincerely hope it wasn't, because it appeared to be. While we're on the topic of depression, it may appear depressing that I'm applauding this film for feeling like there was some actual effort put into it, but I'll recognise quality when I see it, however starved we have been of it. This is the confident and thematically rich film that we needed after the disappointing Captain America Brave New World. I am not forgiving of the Multiverse Saga's failings just because of one strong entry, but Thunderbolts has revived my interest in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It may not be enough for you, but that's how I feel.